Hey ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the channel. I think you might be watching this the week of the 4th of July. So if you're in America, hope you have a great Independence Day. Today we're on Shards. We are down tier in the Tier 7 Royal Navy Premium Cruiser Hampshire. This was the only ship I could buy with my 70% off coupon. So I paid about, I don't know, 5K for the Hampshire. Not a cruiser guy, but this gave me a little bit of vibes of, like a Stalingrad-esque feel. Now, it can only shoot armor piercing. They aren't high caliber armor piercing guns like 203. I'm not saying this ship has a good armor profile or anything, but I'm not a cruiser player. We're going to have a pretty good match here today on Shards in the Hampshire. All right, so my goal when I'm shooting in a ship like this is to aim for superstructure of battleships and also any kind of cruiser. I'll take a pot shot at a destroyer if I can get one, if I don't have a better shot out there. You can see consumables. We've got some ordinary heals. We've got some short-range sonar. We've got a broadside Siegfried as a target. And we've got 3 charges of catapult fighter, of which because Wargaming refuses to tell you any effectiveness stat, I'm not going to tell you that the catapult fighter is any good. I am going to tell you you don't have an option to swap it out. I really wish they would let you swap out the catapult fighter for DFAA. Now, this cruiser does have DFAA. You would have to give up sonar to get it. If we all scream and cry loud enough, maybe they'll let us switch out DFAA for the catapult fighter. All right, I got hit pretty hard, so I panicked, and I launched my catapult fighter as a way of showing how angry I was. I don't know if it was the Siegfried or some other ship, but we're going to continue shooting at Siegfried. Now, don't be alarmed. This match doesn't end right away. In fact, this match goes the time limit here today, and I'm going to be alive for all of it. So somebody else, I think maybe torped the Siegfried. So we're just going to keep pot-shotting him. I've got Fraser behind the wheel here today. Don't have an especially lengthy main battery range. I think it's 17.2 km. So if you want to construct your build to have main battery range, that's better than that, be my guest. But I don't do that in this ship. I hate to say it because a lot of British cruisers only shoot armor piercing. My inspirations are about armor piercing, penetration, and ricochet angles, I think. So we'll look at that in the port. I just played this game. I can't believe I don't remember. I think it's Yamamoto, which is penetration, and the Russian guy, Von Essen, for ricochet angle. All right, looking at the enemy team, they got a Udachi and a Z-44, I think. And there is a carrier in the game. I'm really not going to get... Sorry, I was coughing. I'm really not going to get targeted by the carrier at all. And I really find that if you're a non-cruiser player like me, you have to have these moments where you are not targeted by anyone and you get to shoot like without regard at an enemy ship. That is where you should capitalize on your damage creating abilities. All right, trying to get within main battery range of Siegfried. I'm holding my fire for right now. My plan is to go around the outside of these islands and maybe use that to get somebody broadside. We are going to target the destroyer with our secondaries just because Siegfried looks like he's giving us a better angle. So before we go around the island, we're going to send another salvo his way. Z-46, pardon me, not Z-44. Siegfried dies. And so we shot at the Z-44, and there's also a Ruprecht out there trying to get some. All right, we're going to take a couple pot shots at the Ruprechts. I think as soon as he is available, I think the accuracy of this cruiser feels pretty good, at least to me. I the shells feel like they hit hard. I know they're only 203s. They feel they hit a little bit harder than that. Each shell does a max damage just over 5k. So maybe I just got lucky at the people I was shooting at, but I really only had one bad game in this ship where the whole team in front of me just collapsed, and then there was a destroyer running around the back, spamming nice work on the comms wheel every 5 seconds. So he was actually doing that before I got killed. Then I was just like, we're not going to win this. He spammed it right up until the very end, though. I thought that was kind of funny. Yeah, so I didn't have any other options when it came to my 70% coupon. I own every other ship that the coupon was available for. So this was the only one left, the Hampshire. And would I have bought the Hampshire if there was a battleship or a destroyer available? Probably not. But since I only paid 5,000 dubs for it, I don't feel too bad. Hey, if you didn't see the patch notes, carriers are getting nerfed, I guess, the next update. The next update's a ship that I wanted for a long time. I wish they had made it the first carrier in the game. It should have been. It is the Enterprise. And so I am going to be getting the campaign. I am not going to be finishing the 7 Provinces campaign. That ship had very little appeal to me. The battle carriers, as I'm calling them, I don't know what other people are calling them. I'm calling them battle carriers, or also a terrible mistake, but I am not going to try to get any of those. If I get one out of a free crate, I'll review it. But that being said, I'm certainly not going to spend money trying to get them. And if you were at all on the fence about a battleship in the front and a carrier in the rear, my advice to you is don't pay any money whatsoever towards this. All right, Z46 pokes his face out, and that is kill number 1. No torpedoes in the water, so I don't know what he was thinking. Maybe he didn't have any. There's an assisted base cap, and I think right now I'm going to head to the last known location of the carrier because there's not anything available. So I will use that time to go to WoW's Builds and wiki.wargaming.net and talk about the ship. All right, real first, the damage record on WoW's Builds Legends. JXG2 had an incredible crack in gameplay with 242k. That's actually 242,502 damage and 5,222 base XP. Holy crap. What a great game. All right. According to wiki.wargaming.net, we're scrolling down to the stats. Max dispersion, 148 meters. And the shell velocity, 884 meters per second. The shell weight, 116.1 kilos. I know you were absolutely dying to know that as we pop some shots here at the Ruprecht. It says the Japanese constructing cruisers with 10 8-inch guns made the British Admiralty think about improving the combat characteristics of future ships. Allegedly, in May 1927, an order was given to develop cruisers with 5 main battery turrets and 1 additional turret. So, is that a main battery turret or a secondary battery turret? One would think they would delineate that. Following long discussions, how would they know? It was decided to discard the idea of the additional turret in favor of armor, which would lead to the Surrey-class cruisers. So this was called Project X. I think that's what it was called. I would have to go look at... What did I put in the title card? I can't remember. By the way, the title card is a protected cruiser known as the Hampshire that actually floated on the water. So... yeah, there was also a guided missile cruiser, but I didn't really want to put that one up there. So, Design X, pardon me. All right. So that's the deal with this ship. All right, we're starting to see enemies in range, continuing to chip at Ruprecht. I would really love to finish him off. By the way, we're up to almost 80,000 damage. So just doing my plan here of shooting at cruisers and battleship superstructure seems to be working out a little bit. Get some good hits on the Flandre. And I don't think the aircraft carrier is here anymore. And in a minute, I think it will become clear. Not here anymore. We did take a big punch there. I don't know if that was Flandre or Atlantico. Because Flandre's turrets are pointed the other way. So probably Atlantico. Continuing to fire into the superstructure. And continuing to get hits, somewhat meaningful. And we're just going to keep going and do that. And, oh, we leave him right on the edge. Can we finish him off? No. All right, Atlantico. He looks like he's occupied elsewhere. He takes a big punch there. We are going to crank it. Oh, he got eliminated, man. And see, sometimes what you do in these cruisers is you force the enemy ships to turn towards you or to give broadside to your teammate. So sometimes, I'm not saying we made Atlantico get killed, but what I am saying is that when you distract the enemy in a ship like this, or they move to either put a better profile against your fire, or they turn to get their turrets on target to shoot you because you're easier to kill than a battleship. Sometimes they open themselves up to their broadside to one of your teammates. So we'll just say that's what happened to Atlantico and call it good. All right, there are 3 ships left, a cruiser, a battleship, and the aircraft carrier. I think I want to say like a minute ago when I was blabbering, the carrier launched airplanes out of Charlie, so I feel confident the carrier is in Charlie. We are headed that way. And the ships that are left include a 7 provinces, again, which I don't have anything nice to say about it, and some other ship that also sucks. Maybe a Jaeger. So when we get into range here, again, 17.2, we are going to start shooting at the 7 provinces because he's busy doing those airstrikes or whatever. So get ready for more of those with the addition of battle carriers. I know you were sitting at home saying, KPZ, what would make my life complete? Not winning the lottery and banging Miss America, but having more carriers and more airstrikes in World of Warships Legends. And Wargaming listened to you. They didn't listen to me. That shipment of cocaine and those hookers had to turn around and go home. But more airstrikes, battle carriers. At least they nerfed aircraft carriers. But, anyway. All right, 7 provinces. We will give him a full salvo of this British armor piercing. And that's kind of a range. Pretty good grouping there for 15. There is a Citadel hit and a kill number 2. We are over 100,000 damage in the Hampshire. There is the Carl Johan. I don't know what I said that was. I thought maybe I said Jaeger. Jaeger's not a battleship. Come on. Carl Johan out there. He's hiding behind an island. I think that's probably what the 7 provinces should have done. So we're just going to keep motoring towards Charlie. We're coming up on a minute left, so I'm going to have to spot this aircraft carrier pretty soon if I want to kill him. Unfortunately for me, I don't know. Carl Johan is behind an island, although he doesn't have a lot of health left. So maybe I can get a shell to skip over there. So we're going to shoot, but too late. He gets killed right there. Anyway, we finally spot the Graf Zeppelin. He is angling away. So I'm not going to get... Ow! I just stubbed my toes. My little toes, too, not my big ones. Ouch. He is not going to give us a very good angle to shoot at. I don't want to turn. I have to keep going through this gap here to eventually get my guns on target. So I'm going to sacrifice that now. Unfortunately for me, the farther away he gets, the more I think he's going to turn away and end up giving us his stern and stern tanking. He tries a drop there. That's great and everything. We are finally going to be able to turn. And I was hoping he would get knocked down to the end and then we could just kill him right there and be the big hero. But that didn't happen. Anyway, we ended up with a couple of medals if you were watching closely. All right, here we are on the victory screen. Dreadnought medal, Confederate medal, 112,515 total damage, over 160 main battery hits, 2 kills, Citadel hit, a couple cap defended flags, and a assisted base cap. We ended up with 563,015 total damage, 59 plus ship XP, 6,300 plus commander XP in the Hampshire. And there we are at the top of the board. 2 medals, 2 big kills, 2965 base XP. Officially a GG in this premium cruiser. And I didn't realize it was 2-on-1. Yeah, I had no clue. I just thought, oh, just torp him and I'll finish him off and we'll win. But again, he didn't really target me right up until the very end, so good for me, I guess. All right, let's go back in the port and take a look at the ship. In terms of the upgrades, we've got aiming system mod 1, steering gears mod 2, concealment system mod 1, and we are rudely interrupted. As you can see, I'm not finishing that campaign. And main battery mod 3, and that's the mods I recommend for the Hampshire. Take a look at consumables. As I mentioned, 2 charges of the repair party, just a regular heal, 2 charges of rather short-range sonar. You could swap it out for DFAA. I don't recommend that ever, so I wouldn't recommend it here. And a catapult fighter of little to no value. We were running the rare battle booster for movement speed and cooldown time, Type 9 permanent camo, and I didn't know what flag to put on the ship, so I put the legendary 3-year flag. 37,600 hit points and a 7% torpedo damage reduction with our build. We've got those 5 twin 203 millimeter turrets, 17.2 kilometer firing range, 8.5 second reload, 26.5 second turn time, AP shells 5,115 max damage. You do have some secondary 6 twin 102s, reload every 5.2 seconds, or pardon me, 5.2 kilometer range, reload in 3 seconds. HE shells do 1,500 max damage with a 6% fire chance. You got 2 quad launchers, reload every 96 seconds, max damage 15,533. They have a 10 kilometer range, which is really nice, 62 knots. The detectability is 1,300 meters. You can fire them tube by tube. AA defense, your secondaries are dual purpose. They're your longest reaching AA out to 5 km. The rest of your AA is very close to the ship. Your best AA, 20 millimeter Oerlikon guns, 110 damage per second. So this number's a little misleading. Maneuverability, 31.8 knots, 710 meter turning circle, 7.8 second rudder shift time. I was meaning the AA number was misleading. It's all very short range around the ship. Concealment, 10.1 on the surface, 6.4 from the air, 6.6 when firing from smoke. All right, taking a look at the stats. We played 8 matches. We have won 3/4 of them. Main battery actually 41%. Kill death ratio 0.9. Average damage per game over 72k. And the last game you saw was our best game in terms of kills, damage, max XP, the whole 9 yards. Although we did have another good game and I forgot to record it. So, all right, here's the armor viewer. Looks pretty scary. I think this is a large part of the survivability, mostly below water citadel. Got a 25 millimeter bow, and all that entails. Turrets and barbettes, that same thickness of armor, 25 millimeters. Casemate armor, to get this weird looking greenish armor belt. I don't know, man. There's not a lot of high armor values in there anyway. The deck above the citadel is heavily armored, if that means anything to you. Anyway, that is the armor profile of the Hampshire. All right, here is a look at our commander, fully maxed out, Bruce Fraser. Base trait, just 3% to the speed. Boy, they cut that down, and it is one of the weakest base traits out there. Yamamoto and Von Essen to help our armor piercing in row 1 beyond range. In row 2 before it's too late, since we don't have HE, no need for igniter. Home run, yes, you could do that, but I don't know. I like knowing when the torps are coming. Punch through in row 3, fixated in row 4, and refill station in the legendary row. Anyway, that is the Hampshire, ladies and gentlemen. Like, comment, subscribe down below. Let me know what you think about the ship in the comments.